in modern times in Ireland, in particular West Cork Taoiseach, is extremely difficult to say the least. With people on massive waiting lists, many of these only seeking minor procedures. Many thousands more are waiting months upon months for carers allowance, for caring for a loved one or a neighbour. Tens of thousands are waiting on eye surgery, many of these being cataract surgery, a 15-minute procedure, and can't get that done in the Republic before they go blind. But Taoiseach, this is not where I will concentrate my question on today. Taoiseach, the Home Help Service has saved the state millions of euros in the past number of years. The workforce, mainly women, have been the most unrecognised heroes of our time. Every politician who knows anything in this Dáil knows they go far beyond the call of duty to the person they are assigned to. But this they do without a second thought. But our state must look at how we have treated these home help women. Time after time we hear in the Dáil how these home helps can't be found to carry out the work on the ground, and that new home helps are being sought. This is completely misleading the Irish people with these statements, Taoiseach. Many elderly desperately need extra hours. Some get a home help service a half hour in the morning, 5 days a week, but are told in West Cork they won't get extra hours on Saturday and Sunday as they can't get the workforce, when we know different, as all of the workers who have done such an excellent job down through the years are desperately seeking these extra hours but won't be given them. So either we are being misled here, or the whole home help service is being run shambolically and needs urgent change, where the millions will be allocated to the elderly and those home helps who provide the service. Taoiseach, the insulting way you have treated the elderly in this country and the home help women in this country is enough to start a national inquiry in itself. And I would shudder to think what the conclusion of this inquiry would be, as time and time again we have been given different spins about home help here in the Dáil. But us TDs know exactly what is happening on the ground, as home help workers who have done their best for the state for so many years are being starved of home help hours, and the people who need extra hours, the elderly, are being left home alone in many cases from a Friday morning until Monday morning. This is scandalous to say the least. Only Tuesday, the Taoiseach Varadkar spoke about the home help service in reply to many TD's questions and said, we can't keep pouring extra money into the service without reviewing where the money is going. What the public want and what the home help women and the elderly would like to ask you, Taoiseach, and this government is, where is the money gone, as it did not get to the people on the ground? How can any Taoiseach state that there is millions extra being put into the service when the people on the ground are not getting a proper service, or the home helps on the grounds are not being allocated the extra hours? Taoiseach, it is time to stop the spin on this issue, and for once, instead of listening to spin doctors, will you, Taoiseach, listen to the elderly and those who are working on the front line, to the way they have been treated, and then for once, Taoiseach, will a proper home health service be rolled out to those who need and deliver the service in a way it should be, and stop millions being squandered needlessly and not getting to those who desperately need the service? And also, Taoiseach, I'd ask you, will you request a survey from all home help workers, asking them how many hours they are working, and asking them will they continue to take extra hours if given them? That's a very serious question that needs to be asked to every home help person that delivers a brilliant service in this country.
Thank you, Deputy Collins.
Deputy, thank you for raising this issue, and I think we all share the common objective of improving the quality of life of older people. The home help support is a core service for older people and is highly valued by its service users, their families, and of course by the health service executive that provides the support. It provides supports which assist older people to live independently in their own homes for longer and enables larger numbers of people to return home following acute hospital admission, who otherwise would remain in hospital or would be admitted potentially to long-stay residential care. Over the past number of years, improving access to home support has been a priority for the government. This can be seen by the way that the home support budget has grown from a base of €306 million in 2015, with expected expenditure now of almost €420 million in 2018. Overall, in the 2018 HSE National Service Plan provided for over 17 million home support hours to be delivered to 50,500 people at any time. In addition, a further 156,000 hours relating to adverse weather funding were provided from the spring of 2018. Intensive home care packages will be delivered to approximately 235 people at any time, and will deliver approximately a further 360,000 hours in a full year. Despite this significant level of service provision, demand does continue to rise. All those waiting are assessed and provided with a service, if appropriate, as soon as possible, having regard to their needs. People being discharged from acute hospital who are in a position to return home with supports are prioritised. At the end of August, preliminary figures indicate that there were 6,269 people approved for home supports, new or additional, who were waiting for funding to be available. So, Deputy, I do acknowledge that there's a constant increase in the ask here for understandable reasons. We have an ageing population, and we have a significant increase in our population over the age of 70. And that's going to continue into the future. We want people living in their own homes for as long as possible. We want to give them the supports that can allow them to do that. We are also putting in place a new statutory scheme for home support, which Minister Daly, as you know, is working on. So there is a lot happening in this space, but I know there's a lot more to do.
Deputy Collins.
Thank you, Taoiseach, for your response. You keep spinning figures and statements here at us time and time again when we raise this issue. The reality on the ground, Taoiseach, is so different. I ask you, Taoiseach, when last did you speak to a home help woman who delivers the service? And I'll ask you another question. When last did you speak to an elderly person who requires the service and can't get it? Well, I have been doing both right throughout West Cork for a lengthy period of time, and the results of my consultation with both shows that the shocking way both have been treated. Only a few weeks ago, one home help woman who has spent many years delivering the service told me that no home help in the area would vote in the presidential election. Why, I asked. She said, because the political system has left us down year after year so badly. Minister, during the programme for government nearly 3 years ago, we discussed a home help service on a Saturday and a Sunday, and a promise to deliver this was made. In West Cork, as with the rest of the country, it is almost impossible to get a proper weekday service, never mind the Saturday and Sunday service. Taoiseach, will you promise this Dáil today to work taking the rollout of this home help service out of the hands of those who have failed to deliver to the elderly and start getting the service delivered by those who can? And I've asked you previously in my first round there was, would you order a survey basically for the home helps to give us, I think, feedback as to how they've been treated?
Deputy, I think it's important to say in this area that it's wrong to say that people aren't being given home help supports. We know that they're being given a lot more, but the demand is also increasing with that. Like in so many areas across healthcare, where we are dramatically increasing funding, improving services, improving the quality of those services, but also trying to deal with quite a significant increase in demand at the same time. It's happening across disability, where there are more disability services in Ireland now than ever before, but there's also more demand. It's the same in hospital care, in elderly care. And so what we need to do through our HSC service plans year after year is to provide increased resources to improve the quality of those services, recognising the growth in demand that is there. And of course, we are trying to move away from hospital acute care by investing more money in home care, more money in primary healthcare services, more money to allow people to get the supports that they need living in their communities. In places like West Cork, where we don't want families to have to travel many miles to visit loved ones in acute care or in residential care or in hospitals. We want them at home with the necessary supports provided by the HSC. So that is what we are trying to achieve, and we are investing significantly more money to do so.